You're listening to IChampionHealth Chats, the podcast dedicated to improving health for all in Lexington, Kentucky. Each episode will connect you with champions in our community who will share powerful stories, expert insights, resources to explore, and ways you can promote health for all. Let's lock in and learn how we can champion health together.
Excuse me, Mr. GEO.
Yeah, what's up?
What does it take to become a champion?
You gotta dream, you gotta think, you gotta act, you gotta ball, you gotta bleed, and most important, you gotta believe.
You gotta dream like a champion, think like a champion, act like a champion, say I'm a champion. Soar like a champion, bleed like a champion, look in the mirror and believe you're a champion. You gotta dream like a champion, think like a champion, act like a champion, say I'm a champion. Soar like a champion, bleed like a champion, look in the mirror and believe.
Welcome, viewers and listeners, to a special episode of IChampionHealth Chats. Today, we're located at the Charles Young Center in Lexington, East End neighborhood. I'm Jaeda Tevis, and I'm the IChampionHealth Community Health Champion and an OMAC participant. I'm joined by my other co-host.
My name is Buchanan.
Today, we're flipping the script and taking over as co-hosts. For this episode, we've been participating in the iChampionHealth program for the last 5 months, learning how to be involved with the community.
And our guest today is Mr. Gerald Gibson. He is the founder of Operation Making a Change, a community program coordinator with the Lexington Police Department, and your regular host of the podcast. Mr. GEO, you've been allowing others to tell stories on the podcast. Now we want to hear your story. Can you tell a little bit about yourself?
I can. Again, the introduction speaks for itself. My name is Gerald Gibson. I am a community program coordinator for the Lexington Police Department. But I am also the founder of Operation Making a Change, a violence prevention and intervention program geared toward helping our youth in our inner cities.
Can you explain OMAC to those who don't know what it is?
I can. So OMAC is a nonprofit organization. We are definitely geared toward helping our youth stay success-minded. So we go into our Fayette County public schools, and we work with our elementary, middle, and high school and college kids to make sure that they're going down the right path. So if we're in a school setting, we work with the same school kids for the entire school year. We also run 3 after-school programs, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And the after-school program consists of all kids can join. Of course, we have the door open for kids that are going through the court system. So some kids are court ordered to come to our program as an alternative to incarceration. And not only that, but we do camps, we do college tours, we have great presenters coming by to pour into our youth resources. And we just basically, we're keeping our kids in the loop, and we're keeping them at the table so that we can continue to push change in our communities. Not only that, but there are kids that are going through our summer youth job training program through Partners for Youth, where they can also work for Operation Making a Change during the summertime, earning a pretty nice paycheck. So teaching job training skills, life skills through coaching, mentoring, you name it. The team and I, we spent relentless hours of working with our kids around the clock.
Mr. GEO, we know your story and the OMAC story are linked. So how did OMAC get started, and what led you to this work?
Well, of course, I would have to talk about what led me to the work is, growing up in the inner city in Illinois, Waukegan, Illinois. Shout out to my home city. If you don't know where that is a metropolitan area of Chicago, further north of Chicago, and borders the state of Wisconsin. But I grew up in a very challenging home. There was a lot of violence and drugs that I was exposed to as a child. And so going outside, seeing these things, also the drugs and the violence and high crime areas, to me it was a normal. So I didn't really have a positive structure at home. We had some good moments at home, but unfortunately, me being exposed to those things at an early age, the drugs and stuff like that, I ended up becoming a product of my environment, which led me down the path of self-destruction. And unfortunately, I ended up in prison 3 times. And it was the 3rd time sitting in prison is where I decided that I wanted to be here with you two today. So I knew I had to make some changes. So the change actually started with me. I actually surrendered to change at the moment. And OMAC was a vision while I sat there in that prison cell. And so me not knowing what OMAC was going to be in the future, I came home with an attitude of, I want to make a difference in my community some way, somehow. And so I started working on myself for the last 3 or 4 years, returning home. And I was given an opportunity to work in a school in Racine, Wisconsin at the time. And everything else is history, So, I was the first student of OMAC, Operation Making a Change. I realized that I had to start removing the things that was hindering me from growing, being a positive, productive citizen in our community. So, I had to let go of the street life, pretty much. I had to let go of, substance abuse, using drugs. I had to say to myself, I need to stop going to jail. I need to, because if you're not part of the solution, then you're definitely part of the problem, and that was me. So I have no problem with always reflecting back on what I could have contributed to the community in a more positive way. So people ask me, do the program works? How does it work? Well, I'm living proof of that because I've been free from prison way over 20 plus years. The program has been running way over 10 years, so I am living proof that this program is working.
So you picture this program in a jail cell and often say you were the first student of OMAC.
Mm-hmm.
Who or what helped you make that vision a reality?
Okay, so of course I will always give God the glory first. God is always first in my life, so I will give my glory to God first. But there were a lot of people that could have gave up on me. My mother, she was a very strong woman. Love her to death. My grandmother was a positive influence, and I had a couple mentors along the way that I definitely am so grateful to have in my life at the time, pouring into me. Sometimes when we make mistakes in life, people tend to look at us and want to throw us away. But there were people that prayed for me. There were people that said, hey, you know what? I see something other than what this young man is going through, and I want to give him a chance. So, there were so many people that I can name, and I won't take that time to name everybody because I don't want to miss anybody. But there were so many people that I had to sit down and listen. So I took a chapter from everybody. I can learn something from a kid. I can learn something from an elder, a parent, a teacher, law enforcement definitely played a part in my change. So a lot of people helped in, me navigate to where I'm at right now. And that's who I always give my appreciation to, is the ones that were physically there for me. And I want to thank you right now. If you're listening right now, thank you, and you know who you are.
What adversity did you face growing up, and what's different about what you see kids going through today?
Well, adversity to me was, sometimes we didn't have food in the house. I shared a room with 2 brothers. I had 2 sisters also. Absence of the father. I had a stepfather involved, but, that was a little challenging for me. He had challenges in his own life. So there was a lot of things that, GEO Gibson had to learn on his own out there in the streets. I had to learn how to become a man. And so, to me, adversity also was, I didn't have that positive influence to tell me to further my education. I didn't think that a guy like me can actually, go to college. I thought college was for rich people. So just, I didn't have the self-esteem. I lacked the confidence, especially being in the classrooms. I wanted to hide in the back. I didn't want to answer the questions because I just didn't feel like I was as smart as the other kids. And not only that, I never really was held accountable for, having bad grades or my behavior and stuff like that. I was able to really kind of get away with a lot of stuff that I probably shouldn't have got away with as a kid. But one thing we always had is respect for the ones that were in our community, our elders at the time. So, no matter what I was doing, we were always conscious of whose house we were hanging out in front of, and we made sure that we had to show the respect to our elders in the community. They call that community policing. So, we didn't always need law enforcement coming on the neighborhood because all the uncles and the cousins and the grandmothers, aunties, and they made sure that, we were going to be in line. But yeah, that adversity, man, it's a lot.
You talked to us about the importance of a support system. Who or what makes up your support system?
Okay. A support system is very important. The learned behavior as a child growing up, I didn't trust anybody. I was told not to trust people, and that was because of various reasons that I was told that. And so growing up, that was embedded in me. And so in order for me to be who I am today, I had to let my guards down. I had to be vulnerable, and I had to learn how to trust other people in order to build a support system. And so support systems to me are so valuable because, your blessings can be right in front of you, and the people that did try to help me once upon a time, for some reason, I always pushed them away, but hanging in the streets, I embraced that. I welcomed all of that. And so my support system now is, it's made up of so many different people. The infrastructure of my support system is amazing. I got at least 10, 15, 20, 30 people that I know that I can call and depend on, as well as they can depend on me as well, too. So support systems, I would say to people, man, that are listening to this right now, you want to make sure you build a strong foundation around you. Teamwork definitely makes the dream work. And that's a part of my support system right now. I have a team that definitely, we work together. We make decisions together. We build together. And I think with a support system, we're stronger together.
What goals do you have for yourself and OMAC?
Okay, so for myself, what goals do I have for myself? Is to continue to be a better human being every day. I've made it this far. It doesn't mean that, I'm still not a work in progress. I'm a work in progress every single day. So some goals also for myself is to write a book. I want to be able to leave my story on this earth one day, that people can go back and read and say, hey, you know what? It's not about how you start. It's about how you finish. And Gerald GEO Gibson is definitely an example of that. Other goals for myself, it's hard to even say for myself because I'm so invested in so many people. I think 80% of my life is pouring into the world, and a small percentage is really pouring into myself. I know some people would say I should do more for myself, but also, I look forward to traveling one day. The world's a big place. Never really got a chance to venture off. Growing up in the inner cities, you don't see yourself in another country or in somewhere like Hawaii, which is one of my dream vacations. And for OMAC, I just want to be the best that I can be at what I'm doing. I want to be able to keep this organization long running before, just ongoing, even when I'm not here anymore on this earth. So it's legacy building. I know I would echo something that I heard from Karan Butler out of Racine, Wisconsin. He referenced that we were the new ancestors, and that stuck with me, and that still sticks with me today. So I want people to always be able to look back and say, Operation Making a Change was founded and created by Gerald Gibson, new ancestor that our kids, that especially kids that look like me, that can say, hey, this man rose up from nothing and was able to turn nothing into something. OMAC is I want to see you all running OMAC one day. So we do it for our youth anyway. So, to keep this program running, teaching as many youth and people that I can about how to run this organization so that they can keep going.
What is something you want to young people to know today? What is the advice do you like to share?
What do I want young people to know today? Well, number one is understand that, people love you and people care. And that is why we will address you in any way possible. It's not because we want to create friction with you, but we want to continue to build a relationship with you because we know times have changed. Your generation is what it is now. Mine is what it used to be. We have to meet you where you are, but just understand that we love you. And so sometimes, like I said, when we have to correct you, just know that it's out of love, and it's not to be mean at all. So we see so much in you. If you got a dream, you got a goal, you got a plan. Stick to that plan. That plan may change 10 or 15 times. It may not be. Some people say they want to be athletes and they want to do certain things in life. Well, that could change. I don't want to ever force a kid to say, I have to go to college and I have to do this. We want you to choose whatever path that you're going to choose, but just make sure that it's something that is meaningful and just make sure that it's something that is lining up to where you can leave and influence the next one, because we all influence, whether you're doing it negativity or positive, you're influencing somebody. So just remember how special you are, and always believe in yourself. Always believe. If you don't like something, the beauty about about change is you can change whatever that you have a problem with when it comes to yourself.
From your perspective, what do you think the community needs, especially to support violence prevention and health for all?
Well, what do I think the community needs? So, one thing I try to do is to go in our communities, which we are boots on the ground doing that today, and ask the community what they want. Like I said, sometimes we can go places and we can assume that this is what people need. Well, everybody don't need everything that we may come with. So I would say we like to go into our communities, build our relationship with the communities, talk to the communities, and we get responses from them. We want to know what they need. So what I would say is what we need more in our communities is understanding and more support. And just, this is something that you just can't pick up and put down. This is something that has to be consistent. It has to be ongoing. And that is how you build relationships with the community. I just think we need more of understanding and support.
Thank you for sharing your story and for all you do. We have just a few questions left. Mm-hmm. As you know, we ask each guest to fill in the blank. I champion health through blank. What is that for you?
I champion health through my family. I've been in Kentucky now for over 13 years. I left a family behind where I grew up at. And not abandon anybody, but, I had to come this far in order to continue to grow as a man, as an individual. But I definitely, a lot of people don't get to see my family a lot. I'm very guarded about my family, but I definitely do this for my family and the village that I came from, because so many people knew me, still know me to this day. They knew how my life started. Growing up with my brothers and sisters in all my neighborhoods that I grew up in the state of Illinois, in the Wisconsin area. Shout out to my states. But yeah, I champion health through this, my family and just being able to help others as much as I can.
Which person or organization would you like to give a shout out to?
Well, let me see. What organization that I would like to give a shout out to? I would like to give a shout out to all the organizations that are out there right now that are making a difference. And again, you know who you are. You know where you stand with me. You have a place in my heart. You open the door for me. You giving me chances. Again, if I say one organization, I just feel like I would be limiting myself of that because so many people has helped me. And like I said, not even just in this state right here. I've had amazing people that are doing work in Illinois, in the Wisconsin area where I grew up at, where I started. So definitely it will start there first. And then, of course, working my way here to Kentucky, which is my big three, Illinois, Wisconsin, and Kentucky. That's what my book will be based on and written as a trilogy. So,
where can people go to learn more about OMAC?
Well, to learn more about OMAC, of course, we are active on social media. You can go to our Facebook page at Operation Making a Change. You can also find us on Instagram at OMAC Team and also Mr. OMAC 99.
Finally, what's one thing that you want the listeners to take away from this episode?
Well, I just want to please take away some hope. There's somebody out there right now that is going through addiction, in and out of, jail, incarceration, and just, you've developed that there's no hope for me. My life started off this way. My life is over. I want viewers and listeners to take away, listen, you've been through something, but take something and turn it into something, all right? Because we all have a story. We all have, I can put anybody right here in my place right now. I didn't invent the wheel. I am just basically picking up where our great, great leaders left off at and just trying to help make a difference. That's what I'm doing. So if you're out there, support the ones that are doing the work, all right? And if you're not going to support it, pray for it. Pray for us. My grandmother always told me before she left this earth, I got a chance to sit with her the day before she left. And she was so proud of me that I became this person. And she said to me, grandson, you make sure you keep making changes. Don't just make one. You just keep working on making changes. My grandmother was a cancer survivor. That's why I wear this pink OMAC shirt in her honor, in her memory. So I know she's looking down on me and very proud of me. But keep making changes every day. It's not going to be easy. Nothing is easy. And even though we have technology today, life is still not easy, no matter how easy you think it is. You have to work for whatever it is that you want, and you will get out what you put in.
Thank you for tuning in to IChampionHealth Chats. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to hit the follow button in your favorite podcast app and share with your community. You can connect with us by searching at IChampionHealth on social media or by emailing ichampionhealth@uky.edu. IChampionHealth is a collaboration between the University of Kentucky Prevent Alliance, Operation Making a Change, and the United Way of the Bluegrass. The IChampionHealth team encourages you to get vaccinated for COVID-19 and stay up to date with boosters. Vaccines are a safe and effective way to protect yourself and your community. This podcast was supported by funds made available by the Kentucky Department for Public Health's Office of Health Equity from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, National Center for STLT, Public Health Infrastructure and Workforce, under RFA OT 21-2103. The contents of the podcast are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official position of or endorsement by the Kentucky Department for Public Health or the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.